It's the SDG Podcast. Before we get started, you can check us out on the web at solutiondesign.com/podcast or find us on all the social medias, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Solution Design Group. Hello and welcome, everybody. So the internet's all bots and all fake and algorithms, and it's all over. So today we're going to talk about the dead internet theory. Maybe it's not that bad. With us is Peter Lawrence.
Hi there.
Eric Snyder.
Howdy.
And Allison Lorenzo.
Hello, hello.
So is the internet dead to you?
I'm not even sure if all four of us are real right here.
I thought about getting a algorithm replacement for my my vision here, but no, I'm real.
In my research, they talked about what's still real. What can you rely on? And podcasts were one of those things.
Nice. Well, unless they're claiming a love for a product that they're advertising. I've found that to be, they all really, really love it. And they all make very big claims about not being paid. You can pay me to read the ad, but you can't pay me to love it. And then 6 months later, they may not have loved it as much anymore. So,
and I feel like I'm jumping way ahead here, but yeah, we watch the local broadcast news, my daughter and I, every morning. She's 7, and they have there's a company that buys an entire commercial segment, like where it would normally be like 5 ads. They buy like the whole block and do like a as seen on TV type ad. Nice. for some just junk product. And it made me realize that my daughter has absolutely no defense against that type of advertising. Like whatever they're selling is the greatest thing she's ever seen, and she wants it.
Yeah.
And I fear for when she is able to browse the internet on her own and not able to defend herself against what we're about to talk about.
Reminds me when there was TV and Christmas time and all the ads on children's TV. My kids' Christmas list was being built 30 seconds at a time.
That was us too, though. We got the catalogs.
Yeah.
With all the toys and stuff.
As I say, Peter, the modern version of that is Amazon posts a paper catalog nostalgically every year. And my daughter goes through it with a pencil and circles half of the things.
Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant. Allison, how much of the internet have you experienced that is bot driven? Can you tell?
I think I'm more gullible than I should be. There are a lot of times where I watch something and I'm like, oh, I wonder what people are saying about this. And they're all like, oh, this is obviously AI. Check out what his hand does at minute or second 54. And sure enough, it's a crazy alien hand. So I've been duped enough times to know there's more of it than I realize. And I feel like even podcasts, I've even heard, I want to say it's like the Notebook LM or whatever it is. Like I've heard of students inputting a bunch of text into there and saying, turn this into a podcast. And then it'll create a podcast of like 2 people talking about the material, and students find that easier to learn from than like textbooks or whatever. So I don't even know if podcasts are safe.
I mean, that's a good use of AI.
Yeah, I don't mind it as long as, like everything with AI, as long as you're not trying to deceive me, I don't mind that.
Right.
I think that's kind of smart, because I would also probably learn better from a human conversation than trying to force myself to read some dry textbook paragraphs.
If you can modify it to fit the way you like to learn.
Yeah. Right.
And it still has the content, the core content. I think that's great. It's a great tool.
Yeah,
I've even heard of I was just going to say, I've even heard of teachers modifying lesson plans. Like they've always had to do this if they have certain kids who need adjustments to the lesson plan for their own learning needs. And now they're using AI to spit that out way faster and say oh, you're a visual learner or you're an auditory learner. So it's cool in that way. But that's off track. That's not deceitful. That's not dead internet theory.
Right. So should we define? I guess should we define what we're talking about?
Yeah,
Because it's a thing that's gone back. And it was a just a conspiracy theory for a long time, which is the dead
2016.
the dead internet theory, which is the idea that like there's very little real human interaction. I think some people go so far as to think like that there's few people, but I think a lot of it is like there's a lot of people, but like the space between them has been filled with fake interactions or things that are automated. And now and there was there was a kernel of truth to that for a long time, but now with how prevalent automation is around like content generation, I think it's not wholly true, but I think it's becoming like if there's a meter, if there's like a meter for it, that meter is slowly filling toward it being true.
Yeah, the AI content slop.
Yeah, I read a claim that said 51% of the internet traffic in 2024 was bots.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I think when you if you look at like specific places, like Twitter, I think is a good example where I'm pretty sure a vast majority of posts that are made are bot posts. Whether or not they get as much traction as real posts or not is a whole different story, and we'll never know because it's data they don't publish. But there's a lot of money to be made if you can, like, any post that can grab hold, you make a lot of money, and if you can automate that, you have a job that just does itself in the background, right?
Right.
And there's like, what's the meaning of dead internet? Does that mean that it's no longer a place people want to go and use, or does that mean it's just everything gets unplugged? There is no internet.
If you imagine like a physical place like a mall, right, where it was a social hangout, there's a lot of people there, and then it got replaced by and maybe actually a better analogy might be because my daughter and I go to the grocery store on Sunday morning at 7 a.m., which is not a popular time to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
But that place is packed with shipped delivery people or like those delivery services, right? Like there's a ton of people there, but every single one of them is there getting somebody else's groceries. Like there's very few actual like legitimate people there, which we enjoy because we can goof around or whatever. But it's I think it's that idea like that this place that used to be a big social hub is like no longer valuable as that, and in its place is just a bunch of automatons standing around interacting with each other instead.
I feel like they don't always know like where things are in the store. When I order groceries from Jerry's Super Value,
he's calling them out.
I love that store. I love their bread. Shout out. But the shoppers are like, I'm like, you're in the deli and now you're way over buying pop and now you're back in the bakery and now
that's how I shop.
Are you getting your steps in? Is that what's happening? So
my list does not follow the store layout at all. It's just list of things I need and then go shopping.
So they're the organic shopping bots that are out there following the algorithm of the best way to shop in a store, which is crisscross and walking all over the place. So comments, bots in the comments trying to sway people to like one political side or another is a big deal. Engagement farming is another one. Pumping up the number of users and stats and all sorts of stuff artificially is happening. So it's like, can you trust a 5-star rating on anything anymore?
No.
I
don't know that you ever could, but you definitely can now.
And it's funny too because it's gotten to the point where I'll pay more money on a website that isn't where their reviews are better curated because I can actually trust whether the product they're selling is quality or not. And I really have to try hard to not go like, okay, well, I've decided what I want by using their reviews and then going and buying it somewhere cheaper, right? That feels evil.
That is evil.
Pay the extra money to like because they've done the curation on it, but yeah, like places like Amazon where there's so much focus on that, it's really hard to trust things.
I know it's a real review when somebody is giving a product 1 out of 5 because there was a crushed corner on the cardboard of the packaging
Right.
of the box it came in. That's how you know it's human.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't like that Amazon, or sorry, they didn't like that FedEx left it, like out on the street or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was in front of my storm door, and I couldn't open my storm door, so I had to go out my other door and walk all the way around. Horrible.
Would not buy again.
I still
Yeah.
don't understand why the delivery guys do that. They must just be mad at the world at that moment, because it's like, but there's so much other space here that's not in front of my
Watch
storm
the world
drawer.
burn. Yeah.
But I
And then
never
you
leave reviews.
Try to
so.
put the comments in so they read them and know exactly where you want it to go, and then they don't really read them. They just dump it on your doorstep.
No, I'm not trying for that.
Yeah.
So when you shop, you actually read the comments and look at the number of stars and things like that?
Well, I used to.
Eric, you
Yeah.
currently shop and base your decision on reviews?
I absolutely do, but I'm very temperamental, because like I had a conversation with somebody recently about buying cars, and they were like, oh, I spend a lot of time going over the Carfax. I'm like, I've never looked at a Carfax report in my life. I just buy cars based on vibes instead. So
I just want to see if there's a flood, if it's got a flood title. I just want to see if it's been submerged or been an accident. Yeah.
Seems relevant.
I looked at the Carfax for my car, the last one I bought, and the one before that for the used cars. We've definitely followed that.
Before or after you bought it? Because I looked at mine after I bought it, and I probably would have never bought it if I had seen it
Before.
So if you go to use one of these services, does it give you the option to cheat and use bots and engagement farm or whatever it's doing? Is that like a service? I know that people pay for like ad space on Google search results, so you're getting artificial results in your search.
Right.
I understand that,
and
I understand bot accounts.
I know it was happening on Amazon only because everyone suspects it's happening on Amazon, but how do you prove it? But like the one thing I heard is they did clear out a staggering amount of reviews that they had deemed as fake, like Amazon themselves, and we're cracking down on it a little harder. But
Okay.
even then, like there's ways to get reviews that aren't legit, that aren't even automation. But I guess another place I've seen it is because like there's a lot of money to be made in live streaming, and it's really hard to like go from zero to be a popular streamer. And so there's
Right.
services you can use that will generate fake viewers who are like watching your stream, and then that causes you to be listed higher when someone's just browsing for somebody to watch. You can sort by number of viewers, and you're looking at somebody who in theory they have 1,000 viewers right now, but it's only like 100 real people and 900 fake people.
Right. There has been an awful lot of automation on, racks and racks of cell phones. I've seen videos of those in the pre-AI days, even. They would just have rows and rows of cell phones, and people were just manipulating them, or they'd written scripts to manipulate the phone to indicate, a user's watching, or some sort of tapping on the phone or something like that. But, it's kind of made us all jaded to, like, even a 4-star review on Amazon or something like that. It's like, whatever. I got to actually read all the specs and see how much translation has been done to see where the product was made and make sure that it's returnable. It's all I'm really looking for anymore these days is like, can I return it? Yep. Okay. I'll buy anything and try it out. And if it doesn't work, return it.
Well, if it, yeah, and maybe to elaborate more on your question earlier about do I read reviews, is I tend to look at the ones that have pictures, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody clearly actually has this thing at their house and they can see what it really looks like. Because so many of the product photos are where they just took a stock photo and just like poorly photoshopped the thing into the scene. It's like,
Those are so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like seeing the product in somebody's actual hand in Nebraska goes a long way with me.
Yeah.
That's hilarious that you mentioned that. I was looking for kayak seats for stand-up paddle boards, and some of the pictures have the tail fin sticking up the top where the seat is applied. And I'm like, I can't even imagine what
this thing just goes in circles
poorly.
Yeah, it's like some of the posts, like ChatGPT has like its own voice and certain things it does. Like it does a final like mic drop at the end of something it writes. And it's always something like, that's not just a corn dog. That's a pig farm in the middle of a cornfield. It's like, what? And so you can kind of tell, and they say, what's the use of those longer dashes? What are they called?
M dash and N
yeah.
dash.
Weird words that nobody uses, like delve. But you see that and you go, yeah, this was AI. It's too long. Nobody would write a thing that's this long. So, and it's like, well, is that something that like is completely automated to where it's listening for posts and then it replies, it reads in the post and it adds its own, whatever twisted instructions are in there, and then it just replies in a post or in a comment. I can see I could do that with Nintex. I mean, it's not that hard, I think, to do it.
Right. Well, and that ties into what Peter was talking about earlier about automating it with phones. Is a lot of social media platforms, they're designed where if you do what you said, Kyle, where I'm just going to open up Notepad and write a Python script to make posts, to like read a post and run it through a AI and then post a reply back, right? The APIs of the platforms will happily accept your post and give you a thumbs up and a pat on the back for your useful comment, and your post and everything is completely visible. If you're like query back the API, yep, there's your comment, but you're like shadow banned and nobody else can see it. And so like it's an incredibly elaborate arms race to make those platforms feel like it's working, even though it's not. There's like no actual visibility to it. It's all like walled off, because if you just reject the post, then it's too easy to detect and just you can continue to work around it. But yeah, they have these really elaborate like schemes for that. And so what Peter's talking about is like part of that of like, well, they could detect when it's a script versus a real, like a real phone using the real app and the person's acting like a human as opposed to a bot and all that. Is that then the only way to do it is you take apart a phone and hook it up to a thing that's physically interacting with it, so that you can evade that detection.
Troll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but to scale it, then you have to scale the amount of hardware, right? So you got to build racks and racks and racks and racks of these phones. But Android's commodity hardware, and so you can get a lot of dead phones or like out of date phones pretty easily to build that stuff.
Now I know what Samsung's doing with my old phone.
Yep.
Shit
posting on social media.
I have every phone I've had for a long time. I just keep them.
Oh, now you have a project to do with them.
Yep. Yeah. I got to build a bot farm.
It's time for some bots. Yeah.
So, but I guess my question is like, what is the implication of all this beyond it just being annoying, right? Because obviously you just constantly bump into it everywhere you go. It's like you're just being assaulted by bots and ads and everything. But like, what is the implication? And I know like, and they're thinking like some other countries, especially like Japan, it's been a huge problem where a lot of people are socially isolated, and so the internet is where they get their social, interaction. And so if they end up being walled off from other people entirely, even through the internet, because it's all just bots or whatever, then that's very detrimental to those individuals.
Mhm.
And becomes a huge problem, right? Because those are living, breathing human beings that need to thrive somehow. But
Right.
all of their interaction and everything that they know is like controlled by something, and we don't even know what.
Yeah, there's a name for that, and it seems to be strictly a problem in Japan where young men mostly just kind of hole up in an apartment and
Hikikomoris, I think.
never leave.
It's a NEETs or something. Like not, I forget what it stands for. Like not in like education,
I've heard that too.
employment or training or something like that.
Yeah.
Where you have like no like job prospects. You just so like you're effectively a drag on society, but it's hard to lift people out of that situation though.
Well, and
Yeah.
families will hide that person
Mhm.
and take care of them and kind of
Mhm.
feed into it because they don't want the shame of having a family member that's a drag on whatever, whether they are or not. So it's I think it's a kind of agoraphobia type
Mhm.
situation.
All right, so
Um,
just to make sure I got the acronym right, I googled the word NEET, and I got the Wikipedia page. It stands for Not in Education, Employment, Training. But right above that, I got an AI overview that is so offensive. I cannot even believe what I'm looking at, and I cannot share here.
Whoa. Dead internet indeed.
Yeah, wow. I'm just gonna ignore
So,
that.
I mean, Facebook sort of algorithmically removed me from looking at Facebook, I don't know, 10 years ago.
yeah.
And because I was a late adopter and an early anti-adopter because I'm not going to sit there and look through ads and things just to see random posts that may or may not bubble up or be pertinent to me. So, yeah, I still have an account. You can wish me happy birthday, and I might see it every 10 years. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I'm not posting. I'm not feeding the beast. And I do wonder how much like that's going to impact things going forward. Is MySpace going to come back? Because
It
it is
could.
not algorithmically, delivering content.
If something came out that was like it used to be and it wasn't used for all of that junk, like it was weird. One day, I could see all the people I was following, all my
Hmm.
Facebook friends.
Yep.
I would see stuff coming through my feed. Um, and then I stopped seeing like certain people
Hmm.
and started seeing more like ad generated content.
Mhm.
Um, even stuff in Facebook Messenger, and I see that in LinkedIn too, where they're, like trying to sell me on stuff by messaging me. And it's like, man, is this everywhere? Then I go get gas and they're showing ads right at the gas pump.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
right. The
You
video
might
screen.
accidentally need some, I don't know, milk.
I knew all this was coming. I watched a show. I don't remember. I have no details about this. But this really kind of skeevy, slimy marketing guy was talking about, the future is we're going to have ads right in everybody's face all the time. We're gonna, be able to track them and do all this stuff. And it was like this really intrusive, like, do you work under a volcano? Like, and do you have a cat that sits on your lap that you stroke? And like, are you pure evil? I think he is. I think the guy with pure evil. And I was like, man, that is disgusting. And to see it play out is also pretty bad. YouTube videos, if you don't subscribe, the commercials have just gotten out of hand.
It's bad. Yeah.
It is very bad.
Yeah, I somehow missed it because I just for the sake of working, I subscribed to YouTube Music, which is the same subscription as YouTube. So I got the YouTube, the no ads on YouTube by default. And then then after that is when it really ramped it up and people are complaining about like, multiple minutes of ads per video.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or I go to I was just gonna say that, like, I'll go to a relative's house and we're trying to watch a longer video, and it's just like they're taking commercial breaks in the middle of the YouTube video effectively.
And it's automated, so it's never just all of a sudden they're talking and there's a commercial and then they cut back and it's in the middle of a word. And then you're like, what were they saying? It's not planned. It's just built into the system. And I think that's a lot of slop. To me, that's something that's automated, algorithmic, and pushing me away from the platform. And I think I
feel like a big part, like you were saying, Eric, of this dead internet theory is like, how much can things be enshittified, right? We talked about the enshittification book a couple episodes ago, and this feels like that, right? Where platforms are like, how much more can we extract from you? How much worse can we make it and still get your money? So like the question is, how bad can it get before people just jump ship?
Right.
Either off the internet or to something more wholesome and organic, like, what MySpace or LiveJournal or Neopets, heck, back in the day, I had a Neopets shop that you could customize the HTML for.
And YouTube is fascinating because that's one where you can buy your way out of it. Like pay the $12 or whatever it is, and all the ads go away. And I watch my daughter and I watch a lot of like music videos and stuff on there. Like it's just fun for us, like to wind down before bedtime. And it's great to not have the ads, frankly. But there's a lot of people that are just like the idea of paying for content on the internet is an insurmountable obstacle. But it's not always an option. Like I don't think there's unless I'm mistaken, for something like Facebook, I don't think it's an option. But even for some of the streaming platforms where it used to be an option, where you could pay it, whatever, it's slowly creeping back. We're like, well, it's not that you're going to get no ads; you're just going to get fewer ads,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do wonder if like, are ads generating that little money because they're being thrown everywhere, and so you need more ads to get the same revenue, or are they really making a lot more money because they're showing more ads? And I feel like it's the first one. Like
it's like what's paying for it, and anything you watch, like it's ads. It's
right.
It's hustling products and trying to sell stuff. Like that's the revenue. Unless you get people to pony up cash every month, it's ad revenue. Like what other way? But if you're an online store or something like that, but what other way is there for people to make money on this stuff if it wasn't for ad revenue?
Right.
Because that's the old adage, right? That if you're not paying, then you are the product, right?
Mm-hmm.
But access to you is the thing that they're selling to somebody else.
And I grew up with ads. I've watched a lot of TV with a lot of ads, and I still watch a lot of TV with a lot of ads. And it doesn't really affect me, right? Like I don't, those are great times to get up from the couch and go grab a snack or refill my coffee or whatever. And even intrusive YouTube ads, it's like, all right, I can ignore my phone for a minute or two. And, it's not what they want me to do, but I grew up with ads all my life, and I can ignore them very readily.
Yeah, when the commercial break came on, everybody would just scatter.
Yeah.
You'd have snack people and bathroom people and blanket people. Right. And it was this race to get all your stuff done and get back before the show started.
You got 3 minutes, go.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the AI slop making the internet dead goes, I kind of am with you, Peter. Like it's super annoying. I don't like it and I don't like the trend it's going, but like I can mostly do okay with it. It does kind of suck that the ads are getting really tailored to you. So they can really manipulate your emotions and like show you something that they really think that you're going to want. And maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if you're just feeling weak one day out of the 50 that they show it to you, you might buy something that, that feels like taking advantage a little bit. But I think the stuff that really gets to me is the stuff we were talking about earlier, where it's duplicitous. It's pushing content that it's saying is real but isn't. So like one example that I ran into just yesterday, I really used to like video montages of like people helping other people, like those montages of like faith and humanity restored, candid street cameras catching people really being nice to each other. And those, I think, are really easy candidates for AI to generate now because it's the really crappy, like security footage kind of style video that's really easy to mimic. And you can see it a lot with like, pets being really cute or pets saving their owners, like all those sorts of things that used to make me feel good. And now it's like the opposite. It just makes me, I have to constantly question, are people actually being this nice or is this a robot?
I follow every cute animal thing I can, like, that comes across.
It used to be like one of the best parts of the internet, and now it's
Pandas are the dumbest creatures in the history of the world, but they're awesome to watch because they just fall all the time. Yeah.
Well, that's ultimately that's where like why we're losing the race here, right? Is like because how long like to make a video like if it's something that happened naturally that doesn't and then is caught on video, like completely unrelated, but like a spaceship blew up last night, and it was a miracle that somebody caught it on video that it happened. Right?
The fireball from that thing, oh my Lord!
Yeah. So
I'm like, did anybody lose their life?
But Allison's talking about something that like happens spontaneously and that doesn't get caught on video that often.
Yeah.
But how easy is it to like generate 1,000 instances of that? I could do that, as a hobby easily.
Yeah.
And so there's just so much. So the ratio is way off, right? Like legitimate, real, human-made content that we desire.
Well, that's the saddest part of this whole thing is that it's like burying legitimately good content created by people. And this is the really good stuff that you want from these platforms. And they can't get traction because they're competing with bots and stuff and they're doing it. It's their, their passion project and they're trying to get this channel going. YouTube does not compensate the way it used to. So it's like they still have to work a regular job. And it's like, well, if they could do this for a living, this would be great. Like that dad guy that's making all these videos about stuff like how to tie a tie and things your dad should have told you. Things like that.
Yeah,
they do bubble up, but
it's not just AI though, because I made a list of what I would say is related trends that are all human made. And we already mentioned some of them. We already mentioned some of them. Like fake personas are extremely lucrative. You know, it's some guy in an East Asian country pretending to be, a burly Southern, conservative or something. Like they create this like fake persona, and they're not that person, nor do they live in America. But there's a lot of money to be made in, from in the economy that they live in, like the country where they live. Like they could easily make a lucrative living just posting on social media as this fake person and getting people all and they're doing it up, and then they just all their content is just to get people riled up, right, and get engagement.
I heard there's groups of content creators that get together and because most of what they do is fake. They'll rent a really, really nice, cool car. and then they'll all use it to make a few videos. And they'll share the cost. A lot of times it's like when they say they're in some, exotic location, they're not. And it's all just it's a fake. It's a job. It's curated content. It's reality television in video form. Videos where they interview people and ask them questions. What's the capital of this state? And then they'll have 20 people that don't know it and give stupid answers and stuff. And it's like, to get those 20 people, you spent 3 days out there asking people. And then you compiled all those people into one. And that's fake because it's trickery, skullduggery. I don't know what it's called, but it's bad.
And it's interesting that that trend is is getting into new platforms now. With it being AI aided, in the past, like having a fake Instagram persona would have been basically impossible because you could only fake so much of it. But now you can realistic photos can be generated, and you can just you can just generate a whole timeline of Instagram photos in all these places with this person that is completely imaginary, and people believe every bit of it.
And companies are doing this now. There's this guy, I think he's making healthcare supplements or something that he's trying to sell, but he didn't want himself to go on and advertise it. So he made up this entire AI persona, this completely made up, more elderly woman who looks really healthy and gardens and does all this stuff and regularly posts on Instagram, but regularly plugs that product for him. Just completely made up for that purpose.
Yeah, which is a form of there's a Reddit term for it because it's a subreddit. It's called Hail Corporate, but it's that idea because large corporations do it, not just like Allison, you're giving a really good example, but big corporations will do that where they want to there's a lot of like marketing is varied, right? And so they do their traditional marketing, but they do they'll pay somebody to talk about a product, or they'll do something where it's a meme or whatever, but it's but it's generated, right? They're trying to create this seemingly natural engagement or whatever, but it's all manufactured very carefully by them.
Do you mean Tom Selleck is not huge into reverse mortgages? Is that what you're saying? I thought he was a big fan.
Well, I'm talking about like the seemingly innocent aunt on Instagram or something.
I'm sure they're doing a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah, and then it blows up, and again, there's a level of conspiracy theory even around that, where some people think that everything that ever happens that has a McDonald's logo visible was purpose built by McDonald's, but you know what I mean. There's obviously a bunch of it that is tailored or is generated.
It's hard to take a picture anywhere in America without getting a McDonald's logo in the background.
Exactly.
They're putting one up across the street from me. My neighbor sold his house. No.
and then Allison was talking earlier about the cute videos and yeah, even because you could AI generate that, but it's been a trend for a long time of humans making that kind of content too. Both 100%. Both they're kind of aping a viral video, and then they'll make their own version of it or something. But people also tripping over each other on platforms like TikTok, where somebody came up with a legitimately clever idea, and it made sense that it went viral, but then everybody piles on and makes the same version of that video. And Allison, you were talking about where it's something that happened in public, then they just go out in public and fake that interaction.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, because
I think everything's fake. Everything I look at where people are involved, I think it's staged.
Yeah.
Except for work life.
That one show, Dr. House, that was about a real doctor. I like that show because it was so real.
Yeah, and it's not Cushing's.
No, it never is.
Never Ricketts.
Lupus. It's not Ricketts.
What were you going to say, Allison?
Well, just a lot of this duplicitousness, holy smokes, is long-standing. It's existed as long as humans on the internet have existed, but just with AI, it accelerates everything. It multiplies everything. It makes it that much easier. So, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But there are corners where there's sanctuary though, where the good work is done. Because like again in a more general sense, because the question is like, well, if you want to avoid all that, where do you go? And and private forums are still out there, and some of it is very tailored. Like when my car, that's a relatively rare car, breaks. There's still a forum out there where all people talk about is that one model of car, and it broke in that exact way for a bunch of other people. And so that it's amazing that those communities are still out there and still like amazing sources of information. But you can't. I don't think they exist for every topic, is the problem, or every hobby.
Right.
And there's Discord, which again seems like it fits a certain niche, like for like I play a lot of retro video games, and so there's Discords out there, that servers that are kind of well moderated, where they kick out any troublemakers or bots or any of that stuff. Like they stay on top of it, so it's all real people, and it's it's really interesting that there's like actual human discourse happening in that community. It's really nice. And subreddits too, like not all of them, but there's a lot of them that are really well moderated and are interesting. And actually kind of related to this topic, like I had written down some examples that were like related to this whole idea, like because we started out with like dead internet theory being a conspiracy theory, and there's communities that are just like there's just like a long running inside joke. So one of them is called Daniel Tiger Conspiracy, which is the idea that like there's like it's people's fake pet theories about children's television. Because you're forced to sit there and watch Coco Melon for 2 years when you have an infant, right?
Heck yeah.
And so some of that show doesn't make any sense, and so people like come up with these pet theories and then they just post and talk about them. But like because there's no value in like that space being invaded by ads or anything, it's all like regular human beings all just having a laugh or whatever. And and those types of communities are so fun to look at, because it's old. It's the old internet instead of the current internet.
Right. Oh, I love that.
And the other honorable mention here is there's a subreddit called "Birds Aren't Real," which is people endlessly debating whether birds are a real thing or not. Which they so it's not like UFOs or like the moon landing, where just people that are like legitimately. It's like nobody actually thinks that birds aren't real, but it's just fun to like come up with ways to prove that they're not. That are just funny.
Here's another funny way that birds are not real.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got him. I found it. I got him this time. Sorry.
I think the weirdest subreddit I've ever found is like cool sticks or something, where it's just people who find cool sticks, post a picture of them with it.
Yeah.
Sticks that look like a gun, It's like, well, guys, if they go out in the woods or go hiking or something, will find a stick.
Yeah.
They're all over the place out in the woods.
Yeah. And if you're camping and you're gonna have a fire, you have to have a really good poking stick.
Gotta have a stick for poking it. Yeah.
Survival basics. Yeah.
Sticks are important.
The dumb subreddit joke that I'll never not laugh about is for whatever reason, because marijuana's got a million euphemisms, and so the marijuana subreddit is called trees for some reason. But then there's people that like legitimately want to talk about trees, like and so they don't have a place. So they started a community called Marijuana Enthusiasts, and it's only about trees.
That's good internet.
Yeah, it's great internet.
Internet.
Yeah. I don't think an AI would ever do that. I don't think they would create that connection.
There's a Reddit called Only Space Fans, and it's just like floor fans and desk fans and old school fans, ceiling fans. Yeah. It is highly curated, so you're only going to see an actual fan. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, curation's a good term here. Like if you're careful about how you curate your internet sources, like there's still a lot of good content out there. Because Reddit's a good example, Twitter's a good example. Like those, some of those, like if you bother, like you make an account, you suppress the things that are like the bad things we're talking about. If you bother to downvote, you bother to to ban or block people and that kind of stuff. Like you can curate it to a point where it actually is stuff you want to see. But at the same time, then they're just feeding you the stuff you want to see, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you become your own worst enemy in a way. But if you just want to see cute animal pictures, like you can just slide into that community pretty easily, you know.
Did you guys see that Dig was trying to make a comeback and that they failed because of bots?
What's
No.
Dig?
Dig. What is dig?
What's Dig? Oh, Dig is Reddit before Reddit.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
They would have been Reddit if but they shot themselves in the foot, like literally.
Oops.
They
Like,
made yeah. Go ahead.
I would say Reddit was the worst. Reddit was a much worse version of Dig.
Oh.
But yeah, that was like
Dig was like the original.
VHS.
It was fun articles and stuff like that, but they lost the thread somewhere along the lines, and then they were trying to make a comeback. They had a closed beta that worked out pretty well, and then they opened the beta, and then they had a sign that said closed because of bots. They just couldn't. They did not manage or understand how impactful bots would be on their product, and so they're back in the whiteboard phase, I think.
Yeah, and if any of you used Slashdot before, it was kind of a generalized version of that idea, where it's like social news where you're posting links to things and then talking about it. Like
Yep.
a lot like what Reddit is, because Reddit it's relatively recent that Reddit's allowed you to post like photos and stuff natively onto the platform. You had to everything was a link to something else, and then you were just like commenting on it. It wasn't a closed system, and that's what Dig was. And actually, that's funny because that was like one of the first, like they had a when that site launched, they had a podcast called Dig Nation, and that was like one of the first podcasts I ever listened to when it was a relatively new idea. And I remember them distinctly talking about Twitter when it was like a closed beta for people that lived in San Francisco.
Right.
And they were, and like the Dig Nation people were the one who broke it. Like they got like thousands of people to follow them, and it like the platform wasn't mature enough to handle that, and they broke the whole site. So a lot of goofy early internet things happening then.
That tells you how old Dig was. Is you could break Twitter with only 1,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Snapchat still a thing? Is that still going on?
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Yeah.
Snapchat.
It definitely is. It's not like in the top 10 or anything, but it's still out there.
I like the Snap map where you can see like people that are Snapchatting all over the world. And people are the same. I swear, no matter where you go, it's look at my food, look at my dog, look at my car.
Oh yeah,
I'm driving on the highway. Yeah.
But you're right. So this is a thing that Twitter added relatively recently, and it like I don't know if this is what they intended to happen, but it's like it's something that happened on the internet. A good change for once, since we're talking about bad changes, is now when if it's a tweet in a foreign language, it will auto translate it to your local language.
Yes.
And that has like immediately connected communities that would have interacted otherwise.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like really genuine content of like I was talking to a friend in America who told we had hot dog sauce and we grew up with it, and I was shocked to find out that hot dog sauce is not a thing, and but these posts are in Swedish, but they're getting auto translated, and then Americans are seeing it and being like, what the heck is hot dog sauce?
Yeah, all of a sudden I getting all of these posts from people in Japan.
Yeah, it's great.
That I never got before.
Yeah, it's
And
wonderful.
You get a kind of a view into that world and into what the people are like and all that. It's really cool.
They're just confused by us Americans.
Yeah. Yeah.
As are we.
Yeah, which is great to see.
So is this something where you're getting better at recognizing it, and so it's not that big a deal?
Well,
or is this something that's affecting you?
My conspiracy theory is that it's good enough now where it evades detection. Right?
Okay.
And it's permeating so many things. Like my wife was just showing me this morning some like pictures of a $6 million house that like parts of it don't make any sense. It's like, well, some portion of this picture was AI generated. Like I don't know if the whole house is fake or if just the furniture is fake or what. But it's so good that it's like you kind of have an inkling, but you can't really prove it. It's just if you have enough experience looking at Zillow listings, you know what they're supposed to look like, and these photos are too clean. Is kind of what it comes down to. But otherwise, it looks genuinely real. And so my concern is like I'm just duped on a constant basis by stuff that I just can't even detect anymore.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a big problem for Airbnb.
Oh.
I thought Airbnb was a big problem for Airbnb.
It is. I follow some Reddits where people post their horror stories from Airbnb. Like one person got into their Airbnb and it had been ransacked. Like it was like in one of those shows where they got in there and stole the plans. Yes. Or the diamonds or yeah.
And it had been tossed.
Just the whole place was just turned over. Like, that sucks. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like usually there's a profit motive behind. There's maybe a political motive, manipulating people, or a profit motive. And I can't think of like anything I would want to do, where it means tricking people to get money.
But that's because you took business ethics in college.
Yeah, or it means
or something.
Or it just means you don't want the most money, because it seems like to get the most money, you just have to trick a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, I worked with a guy. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I worked with a guy. He was the sales manager at a mobile home lot I worked at. And his philosophy was, you got to trick them. You got to trick them to come in. You got to trick them to look at a house, and you got to trick them into buying. I'm like, I'm not going to trick people, Jim. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people maybe not selling like a product or a company, but you gotta notice that like on LinkedIn, a lot of the posts are looking AI generated, and that's because the wisdom, and I just heard this at the OSN presentation about, keeping a job in the AI era is like to stay relevant, you have to be posting every week or whatever on LinkedIn or committing on GitHub or whatever, because now all of the hiring AI bots are going and checking those sorts of things to check your digital presence on all these tools and compare them against your resume and all this stuff. So it might get to the point where people are, using AI slop to promote themselves, if not, a product or a company, which is that I am not a big fan of LinkedIn, not because of like the user experience or the platform, or just the feeling of trying to perform in a certain persona, a certain professional sense, and like force it. It sounds awful to me. So I don't love that piece of the future.
I don't go on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
only occasionally.
It's an awful place. Yeah.
Tis a silly place.
Yeah. And then the whole, the hiring thing of use AI to generate my resume, and then they're going to use an AI to check my resume.
Yeah, right.
And so it's like, okay, nothing of value is gained here.
Yeah. Zeroes out.
And like all systems, including Amazon just had to tell their programmers or stop their rewarding. They were keeping a running total of how much AI people were using. They stopped that dashboard because apparently people were just using AI to be higher on the dashboard rather than to be productive at work.
No.
Yeah, I know. So
Who could have
every
thought?
system is built to be gamed for that particular metric.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What one person builds, another person can destroy. It's like a constant race. Like security is constant.
Yeah.
I just can't figure out if I say thank you to an AI and waste its time, am I making Sam Altman richer or poorer? I don't know which it is.
You'll know in 10 years.
Yeah.
But you won't know until then.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
The robot war. I'll have died in the robot war by then.
Yeah.
It'll all like melt together and there will be only one left standing at the end. Yeah. Which is frightening.
Is it one of the four of us?
I can't tell you that. All right. We got 3 minutes left. Anybody have any parting thoughts? Any tips for people?
I don't have any tips, but I will say this. I think the internet survives this, but not in its current form, just like it has in the past.
Yeah.
I say the JJ from Coco Melon, his head is bigger than his mom's entire torso, so there's no way that mom gave birth to that kid.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree with Peter. I feel like it's not always an enjoyable experience on the internet, on these massive platforms. You can find more genuine connection in the places that Eric mentioned. And I've also heard of like, the return of the personal web pages. People are spinning up their own cute little sites and web rings like they did ages ago, which I think that's pretty cool too. So I can't imagine a world where we totally just abandon the internet, because there is a lot of wonderful human connection to be had, and like a lot of the stuff we talked about, like that's wonderful, that you can connect to people across the world and that you can find a community with the same car, and that's like not worth abandoning, I don't think. But something will have to evolve, and maybe just the push for authenticity and transparency and privacy, maybe something will transform to accommodate that.
Yeah, I don't see how without verifying that somebody is a real human person in charge of what they're putting out. I think it's going to be difficult. And even then, I've gotten into bars when I wasn't 21. I mean, people are going to fake stuff. You can fake an identity. That's not a guarantee. Bots could probably fake identities as well. So, but I think the idea of people having their own web presence and kind of connecting to real people that they know, and they'll tell two friends and they'll tell two friends, and that'll be the new internet. And then YouTube will just be one long ad. Yeah.
Yep. So subscribe today to therealkylebacher.com.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's just kylebacher.com.
Oh, you got in early.
Yeah. And there's nothing there. So not yet. But I'm inspired to spend 5 minutes building a really nice website using AI.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Allison, Eric, Peter. I think with that, we'll just shut her down and say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Solution Design Group is a digital product consultancy in Minneapolis. Check us out on the web at solutiondesign.com or look for us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Solution Design Group.